It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey, Buzz Buzz babies, it's Blake. Well, you know who I am. It's Blake's Buzz. It's Thursday. I'm going live every night. I get confused. But yeah, it's Thursday. It's almost Friday. That means it's almost the weekend. I'm stoked. I've got a really cool guest tonight, and this book is just killing it on Kickstarter. It won't slow down. It's printing money. We love it. It's so cool. Mary Shelley's School for Monster, La Llorona and the Machine, the writer, the extraordinary writer, Jessica Mason Judd is here. I'm bringing her in right now. Jessica, what's up? How you doing tonight?
I am doing great. I'm also excited. It's almost the weekend, you know. I'm God, this Kickstarter has been a lot of fun. And so I haven't been writing. That is the only negative when you're on a Kickstarter. It's hard to focus on the actual writing. Like I sit down, I'm like, I'm writing. I need to work. I need to write. And then, but I have been ordering a lot of cool, fun stretch goal items and the pins. It's always so fun to work with the artists on those items. And so I'm making sure that they're all getting made and started. And once we funded, I was able to press the start button on a lot of that. So it's
nice.
been good. Yeah.
I saw that video you posted today of all the Slay All Day pins.
Oh yeah. He dropped them off today. They're so little though. It's hard to see. Yeah. Those are the first day backer pins. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a crazy campaign. Cause lately with campaigns after the first week, it's the slowdown happens, right? And you've been lucky. I guess knock on some wood. I don't want to jinx you. But you've been really lucky. Like people are just really, really into it. I mean, because it is an all ages graphic novel. And I know that field typically sells a little bit better than some in a lot of markets. Do you think that's one of the reasons?
Well, not on Kickstarter. I agree with you, like all ages and middle grade. It's specifically middle grade. So that does at the bookstore, anywhere else, it sells more than all the rest, and it's where the money's at really. But on Kickstarter, I don't usually notice that to be true. I notice the adult ones to usually
lately, yeah. You're not going to have a nudie shell variant.
I'm not going to have one of those. And even with my adult comic pistol, I won't, because of its content, won't have one of those either. So
that wouldn't vibe well, right? Because that's about the sex trafficking, right? Yeah.
But I mean, and I'm not anti, but so on Kickstarter, I think, I don't know though, Kickstarter's changed a lot in the last, so I think there's a space for everyone. And I've been noticing, because I watch a lot of campaigns while I'm having a campaign, when I'm not having a campaign. And I was noticing some campaigns struggling when I didn't expect them to recently. And I think a lot of it just has to do with the economy. There's a lot of unknown out there. I've been grateful, we're slowing down, but at least every day there's a couple new backers, which is really nice. And
I feel like you're going to hit 200 fairly soon. It feels like,
I hope so. And I definitely think I'll hit 200 and pretty soon for sure, because we're at 189, 190. So
we're at 190. Someone out there.
We're looking at you.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I'm sure they're watching this too. They're like, I'm gonna cancel my pledge and watch this show.
Oh no, that just happens. I think that's what we're just talking about is people realize they don't have the money or want to save the money. But I am not one of those people, because I just want all the comics, as you think you have a similar problem. So it
is definitely a problem. Speaking of people watching the show, I got some people in the chat. What's up? Mr. Ronan, what's up? Mr. David Hazan's in the house. Buzz baby, what's up? Mr. John Westhoff, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. We are gonna do a giveaway. But unfortunately, everybody but John is out of the country. It's a US only giveaway. So sucks for you guys.
Don't
enter.
I mean, you can enter the giveaway, but then you have to send me the shipping money by backing.
I guess that's true.
If they want to win it, but it right now is 30 until I go to the place. So this is the book.
Look at it. That's so pretty.
doing on Kickstarter. It's hardcover. It's Mary Shelley's School for Monsters, La Llorona and the Machine. I mean, I'm just in love with it. It's got kind of a manga vibe, I think a combination of like that style with Western.
Yeah.
Anna, I can't do this. Sorry, guys. You can look at it. I hit my level of ability to do that. So we're doing one giveaway here. This won't come out or go out to you until the Kickstarter is fulfilling. Because but it'll go out eventually. And
it's cool. I don't ever ship my giveaways. Like, I mean, I do eventually, but it takes a long time because I forget, or because I become unemployed and like I owe my buddy Ignacio, who's he's in Argentina. And so like he's won a couple things from me, and it's good. It's going to be like a $20 or $25 shipping deal. So,
honestly, I'm preparing a package for Anna, the artist, today.
She's in Poland, right?
She's in Poland, and I'm so excited because suddenly I was like, I was waiting to get these. I was waiting to get the vinyl. I made these book plates. Look, she made this beautiful.
Ooh, nice.
And we are gonna both sign them. They are in the early bird special, which is past. But now, if you do the $60 pledge with all the stuff, with the pin and everything, you get this signed by both of us, and it's just really nice and sturdy. I found a marker that works good on it. That was my main concern.
Nice.
Because I have paper ones that I did print, but this one's kind of fun, so we're gonna go with that. But I forgot what I was talking about. So
international shipping now. Terrible.
International, it is terrible. And I was like waiting, and I'm like, why am I waiting? I want to send her all the books and all the stuff, and so I'm sending her out tomorrow. But international shipping. Ugh.
Yeah, it is terrible. And yes, John, it's a very beautiful hardcover. And one of the fairer priced hardcovers on Kickstarter. I would even say, like, and like with all the extra stuff you include in it, and then just the hardcover's 35 shipped, right?
Well,
locally, I think
the hardcover's 40 but you get the vinyl Medusa Slays All Day sticker, you get the physical letter of admission.
Okay.
And you get, there's something else, but I can't remember what it is. You get those things, and then you will get all the goodies that are coming, which we've already unlocked a lot of them. You're getting another hologram sticker. All backers are getting this cool hologram sticker. Mark just dropped them off.
Ooh, of the crest. That's awesome.
Of the crest, yeah. And then you are getting, most likely we'll hit the next stretch goal, and everyone will get one of these that they won't be signed, but they can put their own name on them.
Nice.
And there's just a lot of cool stuff. And I wish I had the glow in the dark La Llorona pin to show you guys. Because one of the things I'm announcing right now, I just unlocked an add-on, because the pin is part of a lot of the pledges. You can get a bundle that the pin will come with, but you can't just back at the pin level. So for backers that have already backed, and for new backers, you can do an add-on for 24 hours for $10, which is as cheap as that pin will be. I'm going to do that for 24 hours, and we only have 30 of them. So backers can add it on right now if they want to. If they want two, or if they want one that they didn't get, because with the hardcover for 40, it doesn't come with that. So if you add it, it's 50.
Okay.
And then for also just a new tier that's only going to last for 24 hours, we're doing a pin and the graphic novel. That's the Blake Buzz special.
Nice.
And that's going to come with this, the La Llorona pin, the physical letter of admission, and the Slay All Day pin. And all that domestic shipping does come with all that. However, if you're international, you have to add it. Yeah. So that's the whole thing.
And that's 50 or
that's 50 right now, but that's only going till tomorrow, till 6 o'clock.
Nice.
So it started like an hour ago. I just sent out an update and for the show, and then for one day. So people who want to do the pin in the book can do that.
That's a good first. I mean, I just like it because my name's on it, but like it's a good, like it's weird that more people don't do stuff like that, right? Like, I mean, like, especially like, say your campaign's going a little slower or something, and like a 1 day tier, knock $5 off even. Or
well, you got to be careful because it can't be better. Like because you have your tiers for all your other backers, right? So you have to be careful. For me, you don't want to give a better deal. It's a good deal.
Have everybody switch. Okay.
Oh, they can switch and it'll be fine. Everyone right now can kind of get, like, if someone backed at the $40 level, and they're like, oh, I want the pin, then they can add it for $10 right now, and it'll be the $50. So it's fair. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So you just have to be careful. You can't be like, here's the book I offered to everybody 2 weeks ago, and now I'm giving. You can't just give a discount.
Oh,
Well, you
okay.
can, but people are going to get mad. So
I gotcha.
this isn't a discount. This is carefully planned so that it is a different tier for one day that anyone can,
Okay.
and they can switch to it if they want, but it's
Okay.
not a better deal than the $60 one, because with the $60 one, you're getting the signed book plate and a few other things.
And that's what they got day one too, right?
Yeah,
That
for
was the
that was
early
the
bird
40, and
special
that
stuff.
was the early bird was the 45. So it
Okay.
is so it is a good deal. I like it. I never
Okay.
offered it. You couldn't just get the pin in the book. So now if that's all anyone wants, they can go do that, but I wouldn't. I would keep my
Yeah.
my deal
Yeah,
that I have.
that early bird
Yeah.
special was awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it really came through like on your day one. Like you had a good solid day. Like, I mean, it was was it right at 24 hours you funded or just over? Like, I remember it was like
30,
90%.
36. Yeah. I
Okay.
like the early bird. Oh, I guess we should actually talk about the book. We went right into
Yeah,
the,
we just went into the money.
well, we got interested in it because we were showing the book and
Yeah.
everything.
But
But
yeah, it's a great fun. I love the respect you give to Mary Shelley. We've talked about this before in some of our meetings, but like I so respect her as an author, and
Mhm.
and Frankenstein in the modern Prometheus like changed my life. Like, it just
Yeah,
made me think about sci-fi differently, made me think about literature differently, made me think about storytelling differently.
for
It was a
sure.
beautiful, beautiful book. And you've found a lot of inspiration in that as well, right? Because this is you did the prelude,
Yeah,
a
which was
few,
this one. Yeah.
yeah. And then when you did Origins, did you know you were going to extend it into a graphic novel, or was it kind of based off the performance of that?
Oh no, I was already almost done with the graphic novel.
Oh, cool.
We were lettering the graphic novel. Origins was kind of like and not an afterthought. I was doing the graphic novel, and then I knew I was going to do these prologues for every single graphic novel, and suddenly I was like, "Oh, they're really cool on their own. It's an opportunity to make, fun art, have a single issue, and then eventually put them all together, which I think will be great, but they're also part of the hardcover story." So, I
Okay.
mean, like for those of you out there who don't know what it's about, Mary Shelley's School for Monsters starts with a young Mary Shelley. She's in the graveyard reading her mother's book by her mother's grave, which she actually used to do because her mother died before she ever met her. And she tried to connect with her that way. So she's out there at the graveyard doing that. She comes in contact with an occult mad scientist and the evil Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon, except it's a very cute, cuddly version of the Necronomicon. And the occult mad scientist is treating it poorly. Mary tries to save the book, and when she touches it, it casts a spell and it breaks her into two versions of herself. One is the human version that goes on to be the Mary Shelley that we all know, who wrote Frankenstein, and the other one becomes our protagonist, Shell, who is an immortal monster version of Mary Shelley who goes on to rescue monsters and start a school for monsters, which is like a safe haven for them to learn how to be safe from evil humans that try to hurt them, basically. And then that just kind of, I turned into this book where, like, what monster do we want to save from their trauma, rescue first? And it became La Llorona, who I'm always been a big fan of as a spirit, a boogie woman
Mm-hmm.
creature. And so she gets kidnapped by an evil video game programmer, gets locked into a video game by this camp scare company, and it's the scariest video game that's ever been made, and kids are going missing in it because obviously they're coming face to face with La Llorona, and she steals children away. So our team has to go rescue them. They want to rescue La Llorona. They don't care about the kids, so they go to rescue her and kind of confront some of the trauma around that folk tale and why she has been cursed, and if they can help her from that as well, not just saving her from the video game. So that's the whole book. I loved writing it. Anna, I loved drawing it. And we are doing book 2. So we are 30 pages into book 2,
Ooh,
which is really,
exciting.
yeah, it's very exciting. And yeah, so came from my great respect for Mary Shelley and her own trauma that she kind of dealt with in Frankenstein, I think quite eloquently. And I mean, and I think it's why we're all still obsessed with Frankenstein a little bit, because it's really just about us,
Yeah.
know? And so it was just a fun way for me to like mold like deal with an icon that I love and also work with monsters. So yeah, which I also love.
Yeah, I like that you're a big monster nerd. Like that's
I'm a
a
monster
good
nerd,
that's
yeah.
a good thing. And I also like the respect that you like. Not all monsters are monstrous, right?
Yeah.
I like your thought process there, and I think that this book has a good lesson to teach people too about that, right?
Mhm.
About like identity and acceptance, and
Yeah.
not to judge things by the surface, which all of us forget, because we're all dirtbags sometimes. And like, but it's a good reminder. And
Yeah.
I know it's an all ages book, but yeah, I had a blast reading it, and it does feel like manga. It reads, so it's fully colored, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. It's
Oh
gorgeously
yeah.
colored, by the way,
Yeah.
but it reads quick. Has that like quick cinematic feel like manga does, kind of.
Mhm.
And you're not. It's funny because as a prose writer, you're really good about cutting that back for your
I was
comic strips.
but I was a
That's
screenwriter
right.
first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
Like,
used to like condense already,
yeah.
basically.
Well, I went into prose then for a while, then got into comics. So then I had to kind of, it's like they're all a little different,
Yeah.
but yeah. No, but you're right. It is hard to go from prose to comics because in and I think my prose actually I have the harder time to remind myself to be more elaborate when I'm doing prose.
Oh, really?
Well, no, because I get into if I jump into like my screenplay brain or my, comic brain, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to describe all this. There's no artist coming in or
Oh,
filmmaker
yeah,
or
yeah.
director coming in to, put this out there. I have to do it. So yeah, it's a little bit different.
Because yeah, your prose is you have the Plastic Girl
Plastic
trilogy,
Girl, yeah.
and is that done? Or are you doing the third book now?
No, the third book is done. The third book has been released on ebook, which
Okay.
is not my normal way of doing it, but I did release the ebook first. It actually dropped last week, which was not ideal. But that's a long story. The hardcover and the paperback will come out in the fall.
Okay.
But yeah, there's 3 books and a prequel novella. Plastic Girl, I love. It's very dark. It's set in a climate apocalypse, but it's like a hopeful apocalypse. It's eco punk. And it's about a young girl who has survived the climate apocalypse. There's only a few children left. And she finds something out in her lake that's alive that shouldn't be alive. And it seems to be the next step of evolution. And she's like able to interact with it in a way that she's able to build other life. And they start rebuilding the life on this island together. But there is something darker or symbiotic involved in it, possibly parasitic. And then there's a group of young children that show up that come to her island. There's now food, there's animals, then it becomes a little Lord of the Flies. And then a big ship shows up in the third book and there's a team of scientists. So there's a little bit of science so it's a little bit of like evolution, magic, nature, science, kind of all combined of like what might happen after we're all dead, basically, and how will the planet rebuild itself, and
cool.
will plastic and our garbage affect that? And yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's not Mary Shelley, but
yeah, no, it's wildly
but
different. I guess we should bring up real quick. We'll just bring up the. I got the page pulled up here.
Okay,
so
yeah.
and it's an English thing. I talked about it on Twitter today, and it just happened again with Jessica. Like when Kickstarter is the only page when I pull it up, it keeps coming up in Italian. I guess it knows Google knows my mom's maiden name is Ragusa. I don't know, but none of us speak Italian, so
that's funny.
Someone told me I might have accidentally hit like a language keystroke shortcut. I gotta look. Anyways, computers suck. I should have bought a Mac.
Well, my autocorrect on my phone likes to do Spanish, and I'm just
oh really?
Because of Duolingo, I know it. It's like infiltrates everything. But
all my phone wants to type is Mary Shelley School for Monsters, La Llorona and the Machine. I've typed it so much making the posts and stuff, and so now when I make those posts, I can like use predictive text because it knows, but it never puts the colon in it, and I'm like, how do you the whole title, but and you know that I put that colon there. Anyways, technology, right? Anyways, hey, you're back up to 190.
All right, yay!
That's what I get for talking shit.
Yeah.
I laid that guilt trip on him.
Yeah, that's like Travis's style. He just yells at everyone. I didn't know.
Yeah, that was an interesting stream you were on last week. That was a fun watch. but yeah, it's as here we get going into the campaign. I love that. Yeah, all domestic shipping is included in all the prices, ladies and gentlemen. So like at what you no added fees, no hidden what's it called? No hidden backer kit charges later for
No.
like $10 for no reason that you forgot about.
Yep.
I hate when people do that.
I think it's just not understanding backer kit is why that happens so much.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it is. Yeah, I personally, I know like you could put the shipping so that it would just be added after you put it in your cart, but
Mhm.
I, as a backer, like it all just to be right in the
Yeah,
price.
like
So
how done, like
I'm
you know
just like
exactly what you
that.
spend.
I
Yeah.
don't care if other people do it differently, but yeah, I don't like it when it's in backer kit. I get real mad
Yeah.
because I'm locked in. I can't make any choices.
And then we've already showed
Yeah.
off the book, but here's like a flat image of the color and this gorgeous Anna Weisek art. Like,
Mhm.
she's so good. So such a talented artist. And then here's a closer look at that book plate.
Yep. And
That
then
you can
this
get.
is this is actually with a little different than the book plate because you'll notice that it is the book plate
Oh, it doesn't
illustration,
have the
but it
the
doesn't
guy
have the
on it.
frame and
Yeah.
it you see more of the pool she's standing on. And that is actually gonna be I've already ordered it. It is gonna be a comic size metal print that you can add
Whoa.
on, and there's only 50 of them. I print 50. I did the first one. I only have 2 of these left from the first campaign. We did, if you can,
Wow.
this was our metal print. It is in plastic, which and this was them playing D&D together, our crew, and we added that into the Origins comic, but we also gave it to we gave an option to add it on, which is a $30 add-on. They usually go. They might not.
It's basically like a metal cover, it just doesn't have the comic
Yeah,
attached
it's
to it, right?
yeah, because I like to have the metal print. That's the main
Nice.
difference than the metal. I mean, I don't know. We could talk about which one's better because I just prefer the print. And then the so we're gonna do that with the La Llorona print here, and
That'll
we
look
did. So
good.
it's coming. So that's available as an add-on, which people can add on, and everyone's getting the digital print of that because we hit that stretch goal. And what you?
Nice.
Oh yeah, you can play it. You can. Okay, here it is. You can see it move around. There it is. And that's that one.
It's so shiny.
Right. My kids like metal prints. That's really why we're
No,
having metal.
they're cool, and
Yeah.
like I think metal comic covers are cool, but I won't lie. When I first got one,
Yeah.
what I envisioned like the back cover would be metal
Oh
too, right?
yeah.
Like I thought it was gonna be like folded metal with the comic and the like. So I like I didn't know what to expect, and when I actually got it,
Yeah.
and it was just like a comic glued to a metal cover, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, it was
Yeah.
it's beautiful, and you don't really you keep it in a display or bag and board. You're not taking it out and stuff, so no one's really going to notice it. But yeah, I was kind of like, damn, that was $80. Like,
I like to have the comics separate. That's just
yeah,
me. And then I do like a metal print. And I just enjoy. I don't know why. It's just shiny. I think that's
yeah.
part of it.
No,
Yeah.
like shiny foil stuff. I'm the
Yeah.
same way. Like
Mhm.
I'm like a moth attracted to the flame.
Someone new is here.
What's up? What's up, three good nerds? And hey, he's got he and his son do a lot of comic book videos on YouTube. A really great channel to check out.
Okay.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hashtag Mary Shelley. Drop that in there. Local U.S. shipping only. Unless you want to win and pay for shipping. But so that we will ship internationally for the contest if you pay for shipping. But put hashtag Mary Shelley in the chat for a chance to win this great original graphic novel, all ages. A bunch of spooky fun magic and laughs for the whole family, and it really is. Like I'm unlike like that guy in the review you posted, he kept saying like I'm a 40-year-old man. Like I'm a 37-year-old man,
What?
and I had a blast with
Yeah.
like it is it made for me? No, but
No.
I liked it. There's the art, like Anna's art, like you're just on it, and then I just loved like Shell and her teammates, and it reminded me of like kind of like a Goosebump-esque adventures from when I was a kid, right? Like I don't know. I had a really good time with it, and so
And
yeah, it's good for all ages.
I think all ages means like adults too. Like, I mean, it doesn't always mean
Yeah,
that, but it should. And for me, I wrote it for all ages. I wrote it for 8 and all the way up. I mean, it is targeted pretty heavily at the middle grade. I would say just like I personally think that 8 to 13-year-olds, this is like the
yeah,
sweet spot. But every adult, I mean, I'm an adult that likes this kind of stuff. So if this is your thing, you know, you like a little, you know, Scooby-Doo, Wednesday Addams, you know, with little Buffy, you know, and then get monsters. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
like all those things. So
And then here's a close up of that hollow foil sticker of the crest, which is really
yes.
cool. And we got Medusa, we got Frank, and then
That's Will, who's the
Will,
wisp.
and then that's the other forest wisp, right? I can't think of his name.
Jack is the forest wisp that is from the air forest in Arizona that is asking for their help.
Yeah.
Will is one of the professors, and he is the wisp of the primal woods around the school. So he does recruitment and kind of watches the woods. And then Shell, this is the triple goddess pendant symbol, and that's Shell's sign.
Oh, okay.
Kind of the maiden, the crone, and the maiden, the crone. What's the middle one? The mother, probably. Yeah. And so I think that's an appropriate symbol for her, since her obsession is kind of her mom. She got stuck in maiden form and, like, you know, never gets to get older and stuff like that. So it's
very cool. And did Anna do this too, or did someone else?
No, Anna didn't do this one. Mark McTell, who is just a really great graphic designer and also artist. He does Pistol with me.
Okay.
He and I live in the same city. He did the school crest design. He kind of was just nerding out. He goes, "Oh my God, I love this book. I'm going to draw this." He sent it to me just as, like, he'll do that sometimes. And I go, "Oh my God, I'm paying you for that. I love that. Let's make a pin. Let's make a sticker." And that's just what happened, basically. So it's kind of cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, Mark he just
having talented friends is so nice.
That is really, and you know, that's why my first comic I did with two people that I live in town with, so we can, like, sit in the coffee shop and talk it out to death and drive each other crazy. And then
was that Pistol?
That was Pistol, yeah.
Nice.
And he just showed me a really cool sticker for Pistol, which I can't show you, but I was like, lost my mind for it. And then there's you can back at this level, you can get this pin.
Nice.
I'm having a hard time. There we go. Yeah. But that's the sticker. Everyone's getting that. If you back at a physical level, that's part of the stretch goal. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then shout out to Metal Ninja Studios for making a great logo. Who also did the lettering and design of the book.
Phenomenal.
They do good work. Their social media manager's a really good guy too.
Yeah, he's all right. We like him. No, Joel did a great job on the book. Christian did a great job on the book, and was just phenomenal. They did they did some cool stuff with, like, when you get to we have a bonus section of the book, and they put together all the bonus art and everything, and it just looks really cool.
Oh, like the character design part?
Yeah, like in the back. They did a bunch of cool stuff back here, and I'm not going to do it justice, but yeah, I was really happy with it.
Nice. Yeah, I really liked the back matter and the character designs, and I like back matter a lot. I used to not really be into, like, script pages and process pages and stuff, but, like, now that, well, when you start thinking about, like, wanting to make a comic or write a comic, those script pages are insanely helpful. But I kind of started getting into the back matter and stuff more. And I like a lot of, that's like a common trend with Kickstarter collections, right? Is you get, like, either the bonus story or bonus story and back matter. The cover galleries are nice because you don't have to spend, like, $95 on variants. You get them all in the back of the book.
Just put them in the back. Well, I mean, and then sometimes you just have art that you're like, I mean, part of it for me is I don't like tons of back matter, but I do like to just get a glimpse into what the artist and the writer and, like, what they were doing and how they were doing it. And I also think, especially if you're doing all ages, for kids that are trying to learn how to do this, because I do tons of workshops. I just had some amazing workshops. I work with, like, from elementary school to high school kids, and just having this in your book, I think, is really great because they can then look at it and learn a little bit, you know? So, yeah. And and then, like, Three Good Nerds is saying he just, like, loves to read with his
I was gonna bring that up. Like I said, he's about to start doing, like, they're pitching comic book characters and
Oh,
battles,
cool.
and they talk them out. But yeah, his YouTube channel is awesome. Everybody go check him out.
Yeah.
They do like they go get pizza and smoothies and talk about stuff. They do like card rips where you open up card packs and stuff. Yeah, they got some cool stuff going on over there. But yeah, he's
Yeah.
make like, you know, get to the youths, get them when they're young,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like get them into this industry, get them excited about reading. You know, I have so many
Yes.
friends now that don't read, and it's like such a bummer.
It's
Like,
weird. Yeah.
yeah, like
But a
I've
lot.
always loved to read, and I really love. I don't read as much prose as I should because I'm always reading comics.
I
But
like to read a half a book. I like to read 3 books at once and never finish any of them. That's like
I
he
do
did
that.
ask. I've done Zoom workshops. I do want to put a workshop together on some of these sites that have workshop classes, but no, mostly I do them live right now. It's one of the questions. I'm just answering it.
Yeah, you go to like you go to schools and stuff.
I go to
right?
schools right now, and I'm doing in LA. I'm doing some library workshops this summer. I just finished up my last school one last week at a middle school. It was really great. And then, but I do want to do some online ones, specifically just for writing, and putting
Yeah.
it together. But if I could partner with my artist to do it, it would be great because then we could maybe not Anna because it's a little harder because of our time difference, but maybe Mark or something. It would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But we do have a tier, since we're talking about that, where one of the tiers I like, and I'll just talk about it. We don't have to go to it, is like you can buy one book for yourself and give another one to the workshop. And that's like $60. There's also one, if the book's not for you, but you want to get involved, you can do 75, and that's 3 books for a workshop. And then I hand those out directly to the students, and I'll send pictures and you'll know that I actually do. Because that's what I do. I always like to give free books at the workshop if I can, but if I do it all myself, I have no money is basically what happens. But
yeah. I thought that tier was cool because I really respect what you do. You take time out of your day to like go help these kids, not only remind them that books are cool, but that making books can be cool, that writing can be cool, that it can be like, not just a hobby, but a job, right? Like you can make it, you could make it a career. It's hard to do sometimes, right? But it's,
you gotta be real honest about that.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest career, but it's there and you can do it. And no career is easy. So it's not,
especially Kickstarter PR. It's exhausting. No,
you're probably very tired.
But no, I really, really do think it's awesome. When I was a kid, I wish we had stuff like that. Like, I mean, I remember getting excited for like book fairs and book orders. Like when they brought the book fairs into school and like every class got to go and like buy stuff, and they like had all the shelves that folded up and like all the would have like
came in and everyone's like, oh
yeah, and like I would get like every Goosebump book and a Ferrari poster.
Exactly. And you got some crappy plastic something, you gotta grab it at the end.
But no one ever came in and like, other than the teachers, right? No one, like a writer never came in, and especially not with a comic book, right? And said like, hey, and talk about writing and talk about creating and talk about creating comics even. Like, I mean, I don't know, you're doing the good work.
Yeah, and a lot of feedback I've gotten, and I think it's important to remember, is a lot of the parents who really reach out to me are the parents all the kids love it, but the parents whose kids don't like reading or just have dyslexia or have ADHD, a lot of them will come call me or text me when I know, like, if I have a connection with the school. And they'll tell me, I get this feedback, like their kid went on and on, like, especially when they get the free comic, and the last couple workshops, they've all been getting the Cthulhu's Hard to Spell Battle Royale, which
Nice.
Anna and I have a short in, but that's Russell's book. And he donated a ton of them for these workshops, which I just want to say was amazing. And because when these kids get that book in their hand, they're so excited, and they take it home and they read it over and over again because it's got all these different artists in it, and different styles. And I do get a lot of feedback from that, like that my kid doesn't like to read, but he hasn't stopped going through that book.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so that is nice. Yeah, and so that's good.
And who doesn't love free comics? I sure love free comics. I don't get enough of them. I get them sometimes, but anyways, that's one of the, when we started working together, that was one of the really cool things, because I didn't know you did that before we started doing this. And like, again, just like mad respect. And I think it's so cool. And just like, it's like that passion for monsters, that passion for teaching people solid lessons, for just really like, spreading the nerd word, like
The nerd word.
all these, like all those vibes really ring out in Mary Shelley.
Yeah.
There's a lot of passion and love and charm in the narrative, and it's impossible to miss. And so like that, those elements of you that you sprinkle into the story, like it works so well. And again, like your respect for like where this came from Shelley, for these iconic monsters. It's just, it's a great comic, guys, and a lot of care was put into it from both Jessica and the artists and the letter, and just, I mean, the whole team did just a bang up job, and it's a beautiful package, beautiful hardcover. And basically what I'm trying to say is you all should go to Kickstarter right now and back this book and give Jessica your money. Maybe get on that doorbuster 24-hour tier. I don't know. Like, seems like a good idea to me. Like, but yeah, here's some of that back matter we were talking about too. And I love Necro.
Yeah,
oh my God. Necro reminds me of Bruce, my dog, my 2-year-old puppy dog, except I think Necro might be more well behaved, but like, especially when like all the kid, like when he like meets the kids in Llorona, and like, that's how Bruce is. And then like, he just wants to love everybody so much, but he doesn't realize that like not everybody is as an intense lover. Like, he just has to be like all over you, right? And and that's kind of like, Necro reminded me of that. Like, he's just like, I don't know, it's like kind of like a puppy dog, right? And there's even a part where he licks Shell in the face, and I got me. I love that part.
Well, I mean, I'm a big animal lover, and so is Shell, and I think that, and I don't know, I guess, if Mary Shelley was, but I made her one in the story. That might be the one
she
fictional.
Is now.
She is now. And that was like her weakness, with and how it kind of cracks into the story. Like, she has to help this book, and I'm a big fan of the Necronomicon and all the Evil Dead stuff, and I like love when the book rains down hell and everything. But I was like, what if it's just the opposite? What if it's this all powerful book of the dead that can rain down hell and fury, but just is more like of a lover and attacks everyone with love? And so I just wanted to reverse it.
Nice.
And
I was going to ask how that came to be, which you just answered. You stole my question from me. That's fine though. But because when I think of the Necronomicon, it's the same way. It's Evil Dead. It's this book with a mouth that growls and causes all this like terrible problems. And here, like, we have this like heroic, like almost like Superman's dog Crypto. Like, like it knows what spells to cast. It's a smart, or she, I guess it's a Necro.
It's a she,
right?
she. It's hard not to call Necro a he. I don't know why, but
I know I keep doing it.
I do it as well, which is ridiculous since it's my character.
I don't feel good. I don't feel so bad.
Yeah. Mispronoun my own book. It's horrible. And,
no.
But it's
canceled.
Canceled. No, but I mean, that is what it's like. It's hard because it's like you have. Maybe it's because and not to be like this, but maybe because I do kind of almost say he sometimes, and the Necro's always been a she for me, and it is weird. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the Book of the Dead feels masculine when the evil one or something.
Yeah. Men are terrible.
That must be it. All men are terrible. Obviously, I don't believe that, but some of you are. But some of us are. So hey,
everybody, everybody can be terrible.
We can all be terrible. There's plenty of that to go around. Necro's great. I mean, I gotta tell you, I was at this cool little show in El Sereno in LA this last weekend, and this little boy got obsessed with this book. He kept coming over. First he was like playing with a pin, then he was pitching me other ways I should make my merch, which was really funny. And then he started going through the book and he read it, and he comes back, he goes, "Who do you think my favorite character is?" And I said, "Let me see. Necro?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "You need to write more books with just Necro." He's like, "You got to take those two wisps and you got to make them little, and they got to go on a little adventure together." And I was like, I think I kind of do. When a kid pitches you an idea, you're like, that's pretty good, actually. Yeah. then it's everyone's favorite character. So.
I'm glad you didn't tell him like, listen, dude, you can't pitch stories to comic book creators.
We are going
it's
to
against the rules. I can get sued.
I just told him straight up I'm going to steal his idea.
Nice.
And then
he was probably stoked. He was like, yeah,
you could send your mom after me. But no, his mom ran the show, so he was with me a lot that day. And
nice.
He pitched me some merch too. It was really funny. The whole thing was cute. But yeah.
That's cool. That's cool how excited they get for this though. Like that's got to make you feel pretty awesome, right? Like when you're riding high, doing good, doing community good, right? You're out there like really in the community, not just donating money, not just clicking a pledge on a website or something, right? You're in the field, or working with these kids and like and giving them books and watching them get excited and then get excited for like not just reading but storytelling as well. Like what made you want to I know you have children. Was that kind of, and you didn't you say you like went to your daughter's school to do one of these things or something?
I did. Yeah. I got into working with young people way before I had kids. I did. I was working in Hollywood. I did screenplay stuff. I did development. I did TV writing. And then I got an agent for my screenplays and I was going on all these meetings. So then I decided to switch gears and continue on focusing on screenwriting and going to my meetings, but stop doing development for feature films. And I started volunteering with young people because it's one of the things I went to college for. And I always had worked with young people, like as my volunteer work in high school. And I worked at a homeless halfway house in college with kids. And then I started volunteering with organizations, reading and doing homework with homeless kids. And then suddenly I was running a youth program in Lincoln Heights with these great kids. And this was my 20s. I was probably like 28. I don't even know anymore. God, 26 probably. And I don't know. I just had a knack for it. And so I would teach all kinds of different stuff like science, cooking, I just do anything and do writing and everything like that. And so it's just always been a kind of passion of mine. And then, so I just always have done the creative and the youth programming kind of side by side. So I did that for like quite a long time.
That's awesome. That's all. I mean, I don't do any of that because I'm a terrible person.
You're not a terrible person. It's just, I mean, that's what that's what brings me like I got to have a balance of it. And then when I became a mom, I definitely started doing I do a lot of environmental stuff and gardening stuff. And so I definitely do a lot of that at their schools and in the community. But I go for comics. I really wanted to just start doing comic workshops and writing workshops because, I mean, I can do a lot of workshops about a lot of things, but this is the thing I actually can answer questions about and really get into with students. So that's kind of what drew me in. I've been drawn in my whole life about that. I don't know why, but that's like the second calling. The second calling. The first calling is the writing. The second calling is youth programming.
It's interesting too, because like you know, a lot of people talk about writing and especially like comic book making. It's like even though you have a team of collaborators, right? It's very like solitary, and writing is typically like a solitary endeavor. Like I was never, when I was writing all the time, I could never go to like a coffee shop and write. I had to be like, I can't listen to music. I have to be like in a room, like by myself with my own issues and like letting it all steam up and boil over, you know? And so for you to like socialize, you know, and like go to these schools and deal with teachers and deal with kids and the kids' parents and stuff, you know, like, I maybe like, I don't know that a lot of writers and creators like necessarily have that in them, right? Like, because I even see people talk about like cons and how like you know, cons are like the necessary evil, and it like stresses out some people, and then a lot of other people love it, right? They're like, I get to see my friends, I get to interact with fans, and but yeah, it's you obviously don't have that issue. You're very like social and want to be out in the community, and I guess that's a good segue into where you're going with SDCC. Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you though.
No, you finished. I didn't know where you were going, so I shouldn't.
No one ever does. But yeah, you're gonna take Mary Shelley's going to SDCC. That's super exciting.
Yeah, and originally I was I'm still that's its release date. It's San Diego, July 26th, is when the book will start going into people's hands. My goal, even though the Kickstarter says it'll be fulfilled in August, my goal, as long as I get all the book plates back from Anna in time, is to fulfill in July, really, before I go. But either way, if someone's at San Diego, they can grab the book if for some reason that hasn't happened. But I'm launching it there, and I'm super excited because I found out I'm going to be on a Mary Shelley panel.
Whoa.
With a bunch of speculative fiction. I don't know who everybody is yet, so I don't want to say it, but I'm really excited about that panel. I'm going to do 2 panels, but I'm very excited about doing the Mary Shelley panel because it's good. I might have to do homework, I think, because it's about it's more than about just Mary Shelley. So
Okay.
yeah, and that's going to be a fun one. And yeah, it's the first time I've tabled. I'm going to partner up with Wannabe Press, and so he's going to be, I think, focusing on all of his books, like the Cthulhu books and everything, and then I'll be with him with my books. And so I'm excited about that because I'd like to partner with someone.
That's
Takes
Russell,
a little,
right?
Russell Nolte, sorry,
Okay.
Wannabe Press, yeah. And I'm excited to do that because, one, it's my first. I've gone to Comic-Con a bunch of times as a professional, and I did a panel there, which I'm doing again, another one this year, which is a creative one where we just do a panel of different kinds of writers from different mediums, and then other like aspiring writers can come and ask their questions, which has been really fun.
Nice.
So we've done it at like 3 different conventions, and we are going to get to do it again at San Diego, so I'm excited. Yes.
So you've gone to SDCC before?
I've gone to SDCC as like a person who comes and enjoys it and says hi to everyone, says hi to everybody, and I do a panel every once in a while. This will be the first time that I actually have to like man a booth and do that component.
You nervous? Are you excited, or both?
I'm excited. I always like it. I know what to expect to a point, but you know, the part that always makes me the most nervous is just loading into these things. I know that sounds like just the technical aspect of how do you get in there, get all your stuff in there and things like that. Other than that, it'll probably be fun. Yeah. I mean, you kind of got to go into it without expectation, and then hopefully it's just a good time.
Nice. Well, and you're local too, right? So I mean, bringing all the books, and it's not like you're having to like load them up and pack them. You know, well, I mean, you got to load them in the car and get down.
Yeah, I got to drive down there, but it's like it's about 2.5 hours from where I'm at. But it's not. But it's not a flight, so that makes a difference. And usually my kids come.
Nice.
So, but this will be, and usually we'll walk around together. But this year they'll probably do more walking around by themselves.
I was about to ask if you were gonna get like a hotel and like party. And, like, I didn't know. I guess if the kids were coming, it's gonna be different. Yeah.
I do have a hotel. It is possible I will go to a party or 2, guys. But yeah, my husband's probably gonna come too, so it'll just depend. Yeah.
Nice.
They originally weren't gonna come till the weekend. We'll see what happens. Everyone doesn't need to know what we're doing every second, but But yeah, I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to do it this way. And I think it's just gonna be great. It'd be great to see everyone and engage and do it this way. So, and I'm excited to introduce Mary Shelley to people. Like, I've had the book at shows where people can look at it but not buy it.
Nice.
This does very well. I had this at LA Festival of the Books and at WonderCon, and people were going nuts over the package. We had this and the pin and the sticker and the letter and from the first Kickstarter, and because this is an event only item, you can only get on Kickstarter events, and people were going nuts over it. I was telling Anna, it's like people like it, so it's exciting. And cool. So I'm hoping when we go to, so I do have a little expectation. I'm hoping that people really, it finds its people at Comic-Con, which I think it will. Yeah. I
have a hard time imagining, just because of how great the freaking book looks, and it's a hardcover too, right? It's a nice hardcover. Like, it'd be hard to walk by a table and not look at it, ask about it, and then maybe pick it up, right? Like, I feel like you're gonna be pitching Shell a lot. I feel like you're gonna get somebody like, what's this about? What's this about?
Which is great. It's so exciting, and you know, and it's priced pretty reasonably because it has to be, because it's all ages, and so you know, it's once it's out, and I think it'll be all right. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean,
Now,
I want to be confident. I don't want to be like, this is going to be terrible.
no, you
Yeah.
should be
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah.
It's a great book. It's like,
Yeah.
for real. I'm not just saying that. I really like, I read it. I enjoyed it. I'm proud to work on your team and help promote it.
And I've been enjoying working with you a lot. Like the first time I met you was on a show for Cthulhu, and I was like, oh, Blake has the best energy, such great energy. And so then when you decided to start doing this stuff, I was like, oh yeah, that'll be fun. Let's do it. And
yeah,
so
it's been crazy. It's
Mhm.
because I haven't really advertised anything. But I mean, people have said stuff about working with me, and then like, but yeah, a lot of people that have been on the show, and then now people seeing like the little ads and silly little videos and shit I make, they're like, oh, like,
They're fun.
I want you to do that for me so I don't have to do it. Because it is like, Kickstarter's stressful, you know, and it's, you gotta do something every day, and you gotta try and stand out every day, and you know, just tweeting a link out is not gonna do it. It's not gonna get your stuff seen, and so you got to put a little bit of extra love and a little bit of extra effort in it, and yeah, like if you want me to help and make that part a little bit easier, I guess I'm kind of good at it.
Well, and it is exhausting. I mean, to do all the things is so exhausting. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a small company, which I do,
Mhm.
and you want to make
Wicked
quality
Tree Press, by the way.
Wicked Tree Press, and you know, I have aspirations to like do an anthology with a bunch of artists and a bunch of writers, and you know, aspirations to publish other people. And to do that, it's like you just got to start putting a team together, and because it's too much. Like, I would love to be able to always post the perfect post. I'm terrible at it. I think I'm good at it. I'm like, look at my awesome post. And yeah, it's mostly, I think it's just exhaustion. Like you're writing all the time. I mean, some of these guys are such great content creators. They're just constantly, you're a pretty good content creator, but like, you know what I mean? It's just like this, to write books and then to also be constantly creating content, which a lot of writers and creators do. I'm impressed. Hats off. I do my best. I do my best. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about this project. Partially, I really wanted to do an all ages project for like 2 reasons. I did the more adult comic first, and I realized it's awesome. I love that comic. It doesn't pair well for me doing workshops or working with young people because I can't give them that comic. It's not that it gets racy. It's not. It's just content wise, it's not for kids. And so, you know, I quickly was like, oh, I got to do an all. I read so much middle grade and so much all ages and so much YA with my kids that I was like, I'm doing all this market research all the time anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and I just love the middle grade comics. I love them. They're so good. Right now, it's just like a renaissance. Like there's so many good ones. And so I just really wanted to be part of that conversation. I wanted to do a book, and I wanted to, so that was really the driving force to doing it all ages. And then it just had to wait till I could figure, it was literally in the pandemic. I was just sitting there going, obsessing about Mary Shelley for some reason. And suddenly I could see Necro. I could see the Dr. M, who's inspired kind of a little like very loosely the Island of Dr. Moreau. He's inspired by the, you know, just the putting things together. He likes to piece things together. And then, you know, it was just like, I could see him, I could see the Book of the Dead, I could see the splitting. It was just like, you know, and then it made me think of how Mary Shelley always said, Frankenstein came to her in a vision, like a spiritual vision, which is what writers said. It was trendy at that time. Like you weren't a true artist unless it came to you in a vision, you know, it was like, and then she wrote it as a woman, and people like, it was already a scandalous content at the time, even for a man to write it, for her to write it. I think maybe that gave her some distance, that it was like divinely given, you know, by like a vision, like an artistic vision, opposed to just something that was in her head, which was clearly about her and her own feelings. But yeah, so I don't know, a little bit of that spiritualism.
Hey, wherever the inspiration comes from,
for sure,
you got to take it. And yeah, and speaking of Dr. M, I wanted to tell you, what a great villain, right? We don't see a lot of him. There's more, they talk about him more, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm gonna be careful here. But there's a scene where Shell and Frank are talking about him, and like that fear and trauma like
Yeah.
washes over the scene, and you can see it in their faces because of Anna's art, and you can
Yeah.
hear it in the dialogue in your script. And
Yeah.
it's like, it gave me chills. I was like, this guy's messed up, right? He's a bad dude. And it's just like, it's crazy because like I don't get that all the time reading a Fantastic Four comic with Doctor Doom, or like reading a Ninja Turtle comic with Shredder. Like, you know he's bad, but you're used to it, right? It's like that normative, you know, cookie cutter-esque bad guy, depending on who writes the character, right?
Yeah.
And you just, the way you two work together to like establish that fear in a character that like doesn't even get much screen time. And like that was really cool. Like it was a great little scene. And again, like there are many scenes like that, not with fear and trauma, but with like the warmness of camaraderie, the excitement of adventure, the importance of friendship, these things that sound really cliche that I'm saying, but like the sign of
they're not.
when you said, like, I always heard that like a great writer takes cliches and makes them fresh, makes them their own, right? And so like these, like, yes, the power of friendship, we've all heard about this before, but this team, when they come together, it feels a little different. It's, and I love that you put this in the horror genre for an all ages audience, right? So it is a little bit spooky. Llorona's, she looks creepy, her hair's creepy, her face, her smile's creepy sometimes. The mirror and the video game and the VR, like I was like, that was trippy and creepy and very surreal and cerebral and dreamlike, and it was just, it's a cool, I don't know if I've said this enough, guys. It's a very cool book, and it deserves your money. It really does. And if anybody's listening, you're going to be at SDCC, like swing by and meet,
figure out what booth I'm at.
Three Good Nerds says Mary Shelley and her parents were pretty interesting, a lot of feminism. So that's how I learned. Like, I took a Gothic literature class in my undergrad, and we read this, and I bought the everybody bought like the crappy soft cover, and I bought the Bernie the illustrated Bernie edition that came out. And what sucks is I couldn't write in it, right? Because I couldn't like underline stuff and write notes in the margins, because it was this beautiful like cloth covered edition with Bernie writes and art, like absolutely gorgeous Bernie writes and art, and but it blew me away. And then combined with those illustrations too, I wasn't even really into comics then, and but yeah, it's Mary Shelley's an amazing person, and also wrote like a lot of great essays on feminism. And wildly intelligent, and ahead of the time, like, for
sure. And like, it just that she did write, like, I love the folklore of her. Like, she has an origin story herself, and it's just fun to think, like, yes, there's truth to it. I'm sure most of it's true, but then there's these really crazy things that you're like, is she creating? It's like the origin story of how Frankenstein came to be is just perfect. It's so great. It's like the backdrop of the, what it wasn't a storm. It was a volcano that had erupted. And so they're all like trapped, inside, basically, because all that ash was coming in. And then the four of them writing that horror story, that short story contest they did. And just for hers as the woman in the room to be the one that, I mean, a couple of them stood the test of time, but like for hers to have become the one that rose all the way to the top, and just the depth of it. I agree. I don't know what your name is, Three Good Nerds, but I agree. Like, just that she wrote that so young. I mean,
how old was she? Like,
she was, was she 16, 17?
I thought she was 9. Okay, I was going to say 19.
Well,
I knew it was under 20.
Well, she wrote the story when she was like, I do know this. This is me. She wrote the story very young, and then 16ish. And then she had to, turn it into the whole version. But it's like,
I didn't do shit when I was 16. I was just a jerk.
I mean, she was doing a lot.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy about some of these old stories. You'll be reading them and you're like, oh my God, she's like an adult woman. And then you realize she's in her teens, making all these choices. And of course, a lot of them are rash and like heart driven and emotional driven because she is a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she really is. And
That's where that kind of that impulsivity kind of comes from. I never thought about it that way. Yeah. Wow.
And we put like adult lens on her or on her behavior. I know some people do, and it's like she was a teen. She was a teen, you know, and it's like, I mean, she became an adult and grew up and did things. I just started, there's one I'm just starting her speculative novel that I have started many times, but I'm making myself. Was it The Last Man? The Last Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one I'm trying to get read before San Diego because I've been trying to read it for 3 months, but my brain just has been hopping around.
Yeah. I read. Everybody's gonna laugh because I always bring this up. I bring up my grad school experience, especially when I talk to writers, so I can feel important. But like,
I get nervous because I'm like, he might have read more Mary Shelley than me.
No, I mean, just some essays. I've only read her. I've only read Frankenstein. What's that like? I can't remember the name of it. It's like it's something robots or like a robotic or it's one of her big feminist pieces.
Yes. Oh my god. All right, we'll talk about it and then we'll figure it out. Because
I just remember reading that, and because when I took that, when I was like the one guy in the feminist class, because like it started with like 4 guys, and then like after 2 weeks I was the last guy, and like they dropped it. They didn't, because they realized that like it was going to be work, right?
It wasn't a way to meet chicks.
Right. Like I took it because I needed a theory class, right? And I liked the professor. The professor was really smart. But yeah, it was I just remember I remember like it breaking me. Like it like made me feel really dumb, and like it like stripped me down into like a base layer of a being. And then amazing. Like reminded me of like different ways to be human, and like it, because that's what I learned about like feminism, because feminism is not, it's about inclusivity, it's about politics, it's about lives, you know, and it's not limited to gender, which is one of the, it continuously gets mistaken still. But yeah, it's what a really great writer. And again, so cool for you to take that icon and the legends surrounding the icon and this iconic piece of literature, and just like turning it into something that's like very much like paying homage to her, and also like making it some of your own. Like we joked around in a meeting where you wrote the letter, right? You wrote it and signed it as, and I was like, and you were like, I hope people don't get mad. And I was like, yeah, no pressure. You're just writing as Mary Shelley.
Well, and I didn't try too hard to sound just like her, you know. I like to think of her as an old spirit who's like, you know, like, because it's from the grave. And so, yeah, because to try to write exactly like Mary Shelley is a little too intimidating. I was surprised I did that, but I think partially it plays into book 2, but that's a little teaser, you know. But
I'm really excited that you're already I didn't know you were already working on it. I'm so stoked, because it definitely ends. It ends well, right?
Yeah, it ends.
It really. It's so it impresses me when writers do this. You see it a lot in Big 2 a lot sometimes, and then, or not in Big, not necessarily, but like creator owned stuff. If you get like a 4, maybe 6 issue limited series, and it's like you have to end it, right? But then like you also sprinkle in a little bit of that hopeful dust into the narrative in case like if this sells well and they want to do more, like I'll leave a little place we could go in the future, right? And so yeah, it definitely ends, and the adventure, you know, but there's like hope that the adventure will continue, and now that hope is real, like it's happening. So it's real.
Cool. It was a little too much for me to end, you know. I was like, because I had you know, at some point I wrote down 13 different storylines for this. Like I sat down and I was like, all right, if this, and that's the film person in me, that's the TV story, you know, I wanted to plot it out as a TV like limited series, just to see if it would work, you know. And it's like an exercise I did, really. But it helps because then it gives me the whole arc I want to do over the book series, you know. And So I have a pretty clear idea of at least how to do 4 books, probably 8. I don't know if I'm going to get to 8, but I definitely am doing 4 if I can maintain the momentum of it. And so hopefully I can.
Nice. I
And I
am
had,
trying my hardest to find the title of this essay.
oh my God, it's killing me because I think I know what you're talking about.
it.
So you're going to have to like come back on the Twitter and tell everybody what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I'm gonna have to do some research.
Assign reading for everyone. And now you have to definitely tell me because I want to read it before my panel. And whether or not when we first talked about the fact that you did that class, I was so jealous because I was telling you I took a Milton class, you know, and wish I had taken a Mary Shelley class because I mean Milton's all right and everything, but I could have used a feminist icon class instead of
It was one of the cooler lit classes I ever took. That and the sci-fi class I took in grad school. But it was Gothic literature. We read Mary Shelley. We read sections of she wanted us to read other books, so she didn't make us read Stoker's whole Dracula, but we read like sections of it and talked about it. And then The Monk, about this dirty, sleazy like priest who's like, and it was hot and raunchy and it was messed up, but it was written, I mean, like it was old, like over 100 years old, and the prose was actually really easy to read. It didn't feel super dated, but just like this monk like has affairs and all this and like steals and is a terrible person.
And anytime a monk does anything bad, it's like 20 times worse. Well, you know, and the panel that I'm going to be on is Debbie Daughtry, who does Chimera Press, is going to be leading it, and she has that. Since you're so into Gothic literature, she does the Mary Shelley Presents that won the Bram Stoker Award a while back. And that kind of is a comic that brings to life different short stories of Mary Shelley's contemporaries, like these other feminist writers of the time, or writers who are writing at the same time and were her contemporaries, and it has like Mary Shelley and the monster in talking, and then they'll cut into the short story of this other author, and they'll bring it to life through comic form. So that was it's a cool project. I picked it up at Comic-Con last year and met Debbie, and she's really cool, and hung out at WonderCon, and she's a cool creator too. That's
gonna be a sweet panel. Like
I'm excited for it.
That's gonna be a good listen.
I think so. I think it's gonna be very cool, and I hope I'm out of my depth because I like to be challenged. I like to be the dumbest one on the panel. That's like I don't want to be dumb. I just like to be the dumbest one.
Like learning is fun. And and I mean it's just like, when you're meeting peers or like meeting new writers and stuff, there's a lot we can learn from people in this in and outside of the industry. And so positive discourse and enriching dialogue, right? These are good things, right? It's not like when we say discourse on Twitter, right? It's not bad.
It's not bad discourse.
No, panels are awesome. I did a panel once in college. I got blackout drunk the night before. And I was doing a poetry. It was me and 4 other poets, and because I started the MFA program on the poetry side, and I woke up at my friend's house, and like first didn't know where I was, and then I was like, I figured out where I was. And like I didn't have any pants on, and I didn't know where my wallet or my phone or anything was.
Dang.
And I was like, what happened? And then I was like, I have a panel, and I didn't know what time it was, and the panel wasn't until like 2. And it was like 10 in the morning. But I was hurt. I had this giant jug of Gatorade that I'm just like drinking on the panel, like trying to survive.
Oh my God. Anyway, they're watching you die up there.
We pulled it off, and I read some poetry and answered a few questions, and no one knew. And then like after like we were all kind of talking about it, and I was like, guys, I'm so hungover, and they were like, really? You seem fine. I was like, I'm dying. I gotta go.
You did. No.
So don't do that. Don't do that,
kids. Don't do that. That sounded like my TV directing final in college. So.
I thought you were about to say debut. Like,
no,
I showed up to set.
I was ready. I'm like, guys, Where are my pants? Gatorade and pants, please.
And then I
That's what
switched to
need.
comics because directing wasn't gonna happen.
They didn't. No, I could probably get away with it. But no, it was no, and it was fine. And it was just it was my 21st birthday the night before, and
Oh wow, yeah, no.
It wasn't as all that bad, but it was a little hard to go.
You weren't 100%.
Well, no, because I had to be the director, and you're like, ready, camera, A, go, B. You got to say it like 8 times, and I did fine, but I was like, at some point, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. But, yeah, that was good. Yeah, we all make mistakes in college, but try to make them as wisely as you can, children.
Right,
As wisely as you can.
Well, I'm giving one last warning, everybody. There's been a couple extra people in the chat bumped in, but no one's entered. We got a couple entries. Hashtag Mary Shelley if you want to win this contest. I'm going to give it another minute. Actually, I'm going to ask Jessica one more question that I forgot to ask, and then we're going to run this giveaway. But you've mentioned it a little bit, but not all the way. How did you get, like, you know, from kind of being on the Hollywood side of things, you know, and directing and screenwriting, and your prose writing, and then what made you want to, like, how did you get over into sequential storytelling? I mean, because you're kind of, I feel like you're kind of at home here, and your endeavors are successful. So I feel like it seems like it was probably a good move, but like, what made you fall in love with comics?
Well, I think because when I went to college, I was doing screenwriting, and I came out here, and I screenwriting partner, who we're still friends, and we do collaborate together. And we got an agent. We had this cool script called Deep Thirst. It was about man-eating plants in the desert, but it was 2 women going. It was like Thelma and Louise meets Tremors, is what we always said.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and so
yes,
right. And don't worry, but originally my writing partner and I, you know, we went through all the meetings and the almost, and we almost sold an animation original to like Sony and all this stuff. And then that script was our first original baby. And I remember we were talking, and she was like, we should make this into a comic. I'm like, we should totally make this into a comic. And we still haven't. We are going to, but we just hadn't. It was like we started talking about it, and then we've, you know, as adults go, we have like our own lives, and we're trying to always coordinate. And so I just started going to comic things and checking it out. I liked comics when I was a kid. I was in love with Preacher, you know, when I was in college, you know, that was like, I had to be the dark, gritty story, you know, anything. If all my scripts could have Kevin Bacon in them, they would, because he's amazing.
He's so cool.
I like Brad Pitt too, but Kevin Bacon's my
Kevin Bacon all the way. Oh my God, Stir of Echoes, one of my favorite horror movies ever. It's so creepy.
Yes, for sure.
What a cool guy.
Yeah, and so, but we had gone on a trip to Joshua Tree, and that's how we became writers together. And we were like, oh my God, what if these Joshua trees were man-eating plants? And our ridiculous camping trip that we went on became a real thing, but there was man-eating, and then we just had fun. And that got us our agent, and we did all the stuff. But long story short, that her just kind of saying, why don't we do this? And then we explored it a little bit. And believe me, I just texted her a week ago and like, Deep Thirst comic. I just send her these like creepy messages. No one steal my idea. No, it's not Deep Thirst. Oh no, the title is Deep Thirst.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. And I feel fully, I mean, it's in all the Hollywood, you know, all the script, like from way back, you know, everybody had it reviewed, so it's out, you know. But so if anyone makes my movie, I'm coming for you. But anyway, so that's in development, guys. So that's mine. That's Wicked Tree Press. So don't try to steal it. I'm already working on it with the other writer. And that kind of led me into this like comic exploration. And then I have another good writer friend who I've known since I was 15, my friend TJ Hamilton, and he dragged me to Comic-Con.
Oh, cool.
I was super pregnant, and we went to Comic-Con. He's like, we can get free professional badges. I'm like, what? You know, that's when you've been friends since you were a teenager. You're like, yeah, let's do it. And so we got on the train, we went to Comic-Con, and I was like, oh. And I was already into middle grade and all the stuff I'm reading with my kids. And I was like, God, these comics are getting so cool. They're way cooler than they used to be when I was a kid. And I mean, whatever, we had lots of cool comics when I was a kid, but you know, I I don't know. I just started taking it seriously, taking the idea seriously, and then I just started doing it with an artist who wasn't even a comic artist, Lonnie. When I first started, she's a muralist, and she's a friend of mine here, and we started messing around with Pistol and character designing it and kind of going over the script I'd written and how we could make it more interesting, and and then I think it's because I had that screenwriting. Like, I love writing for other artists. I like the collaboration of it. I like that I'm going to contribute something and then someone else is going to take it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the director, you're going to have the actors, you're going to have all the prop people, you're going to have all these people adding to it. And then you are going to have editor, and you're going to have all this stuff. And there's all these people that have a contribution to it. So that's what I like about comics. It's very similar to film. It's a little cheaper than film, because I've done a low budget movie and it's not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cheaper now because you can do it on these things. You're like, oh, I'm gonna just make a movie. Yeah. There's a little more to it than that, obviously. But the
or you can do Skinamarink for what, $5,000 or something.
I want to watch that, but then I had people. The trailer looks so scary, and then my friend said he left because he was bored. But
so I went. My sister, and my soon-to-be brother-in-law went and saw it, and it's something. It's something. It's something
to be watched.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a couple truly terrifying moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a little bit too long,
yeah.
And also it hurts you. It physically it hurts your eyes, it hurts your ears, and like my hands. I realized like at the end of the movie, like my hand, I was like clenched up, and like my body was exhausted afterwards. And so I'll go back to you, but I do want, like, when I went that night, like my sister was mad. She didn't like it at all. She was like, we paid $15 for that. And
I gotta watch it alone in my house.
You can if you watch it on Shudder.
Shudder.
Yeah, like put headphones on and turn out all the lights and turn your screen brightness all the way up and and watch it. That's the best way to watch it. But yeah, it'll. Some parts really do get you, and the more I talked about it with Kyle, my brother-in-law, like we actually started appreciating more of it after we talked about it. And then of course my sister is still like, no, she was like, that one part was scary, but the rest of it was just what happened. And then I remember that night I had to let my dog out, and we had some construction going on, and they screwed up our fence, and so like Bruce could get underneath the fence, and so we basically had to go outside with him, make sure he didn't run away, because we adopt this little bastard, and he just wants to run away because he's not spoiled hard enough, I guess. He doesn't.
My dog would never run away. Never. Only if a squirrel led them away.
I remember it was like 4:00 in the morning. It's dark, right? And I'm outside. And Bruce like went to the dark corner of the yard, and I couldn't see him. And I was like, Bruce, and I'm like standing in the dark, and like a fear that I haven't felt in a long time just took me over and took my breath away. And I got goosebumps, and I got really scared, and I was just like in my yard alone. And I was like, damn that movie.
Yeah, that's what those movies, that's what those low budget movies do. They're ridiculous. And then you're like, I will never forget, like, what was that movie? Blair Witch, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
And I watched it before I knew. I was one of the early. Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen. It was the first time any movie was ever like that. And I was like, oh, that movie was so good. Like, I left, I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm not scared. I was like, I'm not scared. That night, I was like in my bed going, can an unexplainable evil come out through the universe to get me in my room? And I said, Mouth of Madness was the same way. Mouth of Madness was so good. But like, me too. I remember my same friend who brought me to San Diego, we used to do the movie reviews for the school paper. I'm a super nerd, guys, so don't even try to out nerd me. But I was like, we used to write the movie reviews. We do dual movie reviews, and we'd like watch a new one at the theater and an old one, right? So we like do Surf Nazis Must Die, and then we would do and we went to Mouth of Madness, and my mom picked us up, and we were both kind of convinced she might kill us. Like, it was that good. He was looking at me, and I was looking at him. I'm like, is your mom gonna kill us? And I'm like, maybe. I go, maybe.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, and that's H.P. Lovecraft. To get back to the Necronomicon, I mean, that's got to be a whole. Have you read Sutter Kane? I mean, that's like the whole unleashing it all. But yeah, for sure.
I'm so glad you brought up Blair Witch. I remember going to see that in theaters, and my cousin got sick. Didn't like vomit or anything, but like got like almost motion sickness, and she was like, "I'm like, this is messing with me." But yeah, I remember like everybody thought it was real. Everybody thought they really like found these tapes and made it. And then the actress presented an award at the MTV Movie Awards, and everybody was like, "No, you're dead.
You're
like,
you're not alive.
I saw you die on screen."
Well, and it was funny because it was just that right moment, you know, because it was only real for a couple weeks, and then you were like, okay, but that was before all that found footage. That was the first.
Yeah,
there might have been one before it, but that was the first found footage one that we all really watched.
And made it made that genre, it commercialized the genre basically, and which is why we get great found footage movies still is because of that. Yeah,
and I do like a found footage movie. You know,
I love them all day.
What is the one, Cam? Did you watch Cam? That's not found footage necessarily, but I don't
think so.
Cam was a little different. It was like one of those girls who has a room, I forget what the name is, where they have people who pay them to just talk and do stuff. I don't know. I'm not doing it justice, but basically
like from 2018.
Yeah, that's not a found footage, but it's like has this vibe. Like I don't know what you'd call this. It's a regular narrative, but it's like anyway. Just watch it. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
that's a rec. That's a low. That's me just recommending a movie that I randomly watched on Netflix.
Nice. Yeah, I'll check it out.
I don't know why Blair Witch made me think of Cam, but it did. It's like a little bit of this. It's not the same at all. So I don't know what that connection was. But, yeah.
Hey, a horror movie nerd who respects and loves Mary Shelley and makes good comics. I'll take your movie recommendation to heart, Jessica. I'll probably watch this. I got something to watch this weekend. So taking a break from the socials for a couple hours.
Do it. Take a break.
Step away from the computer.
Now I'm gonna feel bad that I recommended Cam, but I do like Cam, so I'm gonna go for it. I mean, it's no Cocaine Bear, but it's, you know.
Nothing ever will be. Nothing ever will be.
Oh, I went to the theater and I don't have no regrets.
Oh, you saw it in theaters? Yeah, I watched it streaming, and it surpassed every expectation I had, and I was just like, I love every moment of this. Like,
I was dying the whole time. It hit it just right for me, and I was like, this is the kind of ridiculousness that I like. They're doing a Crack Raccoon movie. Did you see that? Oh God, I thought they already did that. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. Just kidding. I love Guardians of the Galaxy, but you know, there's a Crack.
It's called Crackoon.
Raccoon. Now there's going to be so many of them.
It's never going to stop. Now it's going to be like Saw. There's going to be a million of them.
Saw just kills me. I hated that was my coming up as a writer in screenplay writing and trying to sell Deep Thirst against Saw because everyone wanted to make Saw next. And you're like, oh my God, you guys, not everybody wants to watch a Gorno. You got to like, you know, have some variety.
Yeah. Here's.
Oh my God. Why Raccoon? That seems kind of racist. What is going on here?
I didn't even think of that part. I love raccoon. Like, I love raccoons.
No, I get why they called it that, but I was like, what? I'm sorry if that.
No, there's a definite. I didn't even.
I hope it's like. I hope the filmmakers know what they're doing. Good luck, guys. Good luck.
I've never heard of Brad Twigg. That's the director. I don't think this is going to be the next summer blockbuster by any means.
It's not going to be Cocaine Bear. It's hard. I mean, it's really hard to like. Those kind of things are like lightning in a bottle. You know,
it was like a special little craziness. All right, enough. I would love to talk movies with you all day. Like that was fun. But. We do need to, let me share this screen. I gotta take Raccoon away and bring up the giveaway.
There's no Raccoon tie-in here at all. I've never heard of that movie.
Yeah, no, we're not. No one is. All right, so let's see. I'm
so excited. I didn't know you could do this.
Yeah. Let's see. So we'll collect 3 whole entries. Come on, we had way more viewers than that. Oh well.
Well, they were international.
Pretty
So they didn't
pretty
wanna...
good chance of winning this
Yeah.
for anybody's in it. And here we go. We got 3, 2, 1, go.
Whoa.
Slowing down.
Woo!
Hey, you know what? That's cool. I really wanted them to win because I do know that he spends a lot of time with his kids and sharing comic books with his kids. And this is going to be a great experience for both of you guys. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be fun. It's a spooky good time. Again, I will get I'll get your info, but again, it will be a while before the book releases, before it gets sent to you, but we will get it sent to you, and then you gotta tell us what you think about it. I'm really excited to see what you and the kids how you and the kids dig it. But yeah, thanks for entering, and Jessica, thank you for offering to do that. I thought that was very, very cool of you to do that.
And if any of the others end up backing my project tonight, no pressure. And you send me a message that says Buzz, I will add one of these in your thing. But physical, it has to be physical because that's already being shipped then. But no pressure. No pressure.
That's an exclusive campaign only event only item.
Yep.
Very cool.
But I'm impressed everyone's still here. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
You did it.
I'm impressed you're still here, Jessica, honestly.
I enjoy talking to you. It's one of those things where you don't enjoy every single one, so it's nice when you do.
Well, I appreciate. I'm gonna cut that out and put it on like
that's the quote. That's the whole quote. I don't enjoy every single one.
I don't like every podcast I
don't like everybody. I'm very excited
Back
for
Mary Shelley's Kickstarter today. But no, this was super fun. But yeah, we mentioned the last time Jessica was on, like I used to have a bunch of people on, and it did help me get eyes on more projects, but I like this format a lot better. I like I'll have multiple guests on sometimes if it's for the same like book or project, but like I really like these talks more, and I think they're way easier. People aren't talking over each other, and I don't see like the deadness in people's eyes when they haven't got a chance to talk for 15 minutes or something, right? Yeah. And I'm just like, I know they hate me. But no, this was a super good chat. All our listeners, like thanks for checking it out. People that watch this later, please go Mary Shelley, School for Monsters, La Llorona and the Machine. If you type that into Google, it'll bring you up a Kickstarter page in Italian. Oh wait, that's just me, but it will bring up the Kickstarter page for like, it's super easy to find. Or if you follow me at Blake's Buzz, or if you follow Jessica, which is my next segue, you'll find a tweet or a post or a link or something about it. We will make sure you know how to find this amazing graphic novel, and it's so beautiful and deserves a spot on your shelf. Now, Jessica, the polite podcast host that I am, this is the part where I know like Wicked Tree Press has a page. I know you've got a newsletter and some social media. So like, tell us where the best places are to keep track of you and sign up for all the future amazing whatevers you got going on, prose books, appearances, cons, workshops. Like, where do we keep track of you?
The best way to keep track of what I'm doing is Wicked Tree Press on either Instagram or Facebook. I am on Twitter. I like to call myself a Twitter tourist. I show up every once in a while. I think that's actually what my little bio says. And you can probably find me there too. I think I'm Jessica Mason Judd there, but no guarantees. And then my newsletter, if you go to my website, wickedtreepress.com, and subscribe. I usually send one out. I send a little bit more out when I'm kickstarting, but I usually send one out every 2 weeks just to give updates. And that is really, if you check your email, is the other good way to find me. And I might do Substack, but I'm trying to figure it out. I'm going to need a tutorial. I'll probably have to pay Blake, just teach me the way.
I can help you. I need to do more on Substack. I realized that lately. I was like, I realized I was like, man, I've been doing PR for freelancing for over a month. And I was like, oh my God, my Substack is only paid client stuff. I was like, like, it's just like, it's like the press release.
Well, you do so many reviews that it seems like,
I need to do more.
Oh wait, what'd you pull today? What did you read, or did you not have time to do it? Wednesday. It's Thursday. I thought it was Wednesday.
It's Thursday. What I really want to review is the new new Mad Cave canceled book. I'm really
Okay.
I'm about oh man, I just shit the bed on this. I'm really into this writer who I can't think of his name.
That's
Canceled.
just your brain. You can't do anything about it. It's
Yeah.
playing tricks on you.
Where's it? You all right, you've been canceled. Kurt Pyers.
Okay.
He did oh, I'm the worst host. He did a Teenage Wasteland. It's only
Oh,
Teenage Wasteland for Dark Horse, and it's
okay.
amazing. And he's got Indigo Children on Image, and he's
Okay.
got some other stuff that he did
Yeah.
like Youth and some other things that came out a while ago. And I just want to read
Ooh,
all
this
his
looks.
comics. Like he's a great writer.
I'm so glad you mentioned this because I was just pitching this idea to my husband. I said, you know what would be a good TV show? This. I mean, it's different, but it's
Yeah.
the idea that we get to a point where, well, mine's different, but it's the same idea where you're being can't. It's different,
Yeah.
but it's
I,
like,
I
yeah,
like I like how we have gotten to a new place where we can critique and have fun with cancel culture, kind of,
yeah.
right? I mean, I
Well,
I
yeah,
agree that sometimes it's important and that poor
yeah,
behavior shouldn't be rewarded. And like
yeah,
maybe if somebody kidnaps a 16-year-old, they shouldn't get to be Flash in a movie. But I'm just a podcast host, so like, what
yeah.
do I
Don't
know?
have opinions. I know. I don't get to watch Flash now, and I'm just like, I want to see Michael Keaton Batman.
I know. I feel so dirty. Like,
And I'm just like, what am I gonna like have to get in a trench coat
yeah,
and
like,
watch it in an
like
alley?
hide.
Like it's so I mean, I'm not gonna go, but I'm mad about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I do think they should have taken him out of the
Oh
movie.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I understand, I guess, especially and we could get into it, but especially after pulling Batgirl and some other choices they made,
Right?
I
Yeah,
just think like, and this is old news, but well, it's not because it's coming out, but
yeah.
it's just a bummer because you're also going to get to see Supergirl, right, in the Flash,
Yep, Supergirl, Michael Keaton,
and
Batfleck's coming
and
back.
and
It's
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 like
a
all
big
those,
deal.
and it sucks because all those people don't deserve to like have us all going,
Yeah,
and that's what we're all doing. Not all of us, but like there's a
yeah.
little like uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
No, it's weird. It's
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 weird.
it's it's weird. Like
It's
that whole deal. I get that mental health is a huge problem.
of
Like
course,
when there's that imbalance and like
yeah.
and that makes people do things. But still, like I
It's just not an excuse.
yeah, you can't rely on it, and you still can't break the law. Like you can't, like the
You
laws
can't
are
you
laws.
can't traumatize another person because
Yeah,
you have mental health issues and then have that be your excuse to
yeah,
continue having a huge Hollywood career. But
yeah.
that's very Hollywood. So
That's true.
they are forgiving when it isn't financially in their
Yeah,
interest to be forgiving,
yeah,
and they're unforgiving if it's not. So that's a Hollywood problem.
yeah.
That's an everywhere problem though. And it is hard to like I have certain artists that I don't know if they're canceled for life. I believe in redemption, but there are certain people that you're like, oh, I hope you figure out how to redeem yourself so I can enjoy your jokes again because I am.
Yeah.
But I understand. I do think we take the culture a little too far. Like there's
It
definitely.
got a little intense for a while,
I
right?
remember where I thought it peaked was when that was that cheerleader girl who I don't want to bring it up. You know what? I'm not going to do this because I don't want to bring, you know how you bring something up and then it brings it up in their life again. But there was
Yeah,
one incident where I just was like, that's so crazy. What are we doing? We
yeah,
can't just like cancel people for past mistakes when they were children. Like
exactly.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like they were a child when that happened.
yeah.
And
I mean, we're not running to be a U.S. senator, all
yeah,
right? Like,
we're just like trying to go to college
don't
and they
shit that was said online or something like 11 years ago, a joke in poor taste or something.
we gotta
Like,
let people
yeah.
apologize. You gotta let
And
people
people grow, people
apologize.
change.
Yeah.
I was a jerk when I was younger, right? And
Yeah.
I drank a lot and I did bad stuff,
Well,
and like,
don't start making lists, Blake.
yeah,
Not right now.
yeah. And, it's just like
Yeah.
we grow out of it and we
Yeah.
learn to be better people, and
Yes.
or hopefully, right? Hopefully our mistakes
Well,
make us better and we learn
I
from
think we
them.
have to make space for people to become better people and have forgiveness, and then we
Yeah,
also have to accept when someone hasn't done that work,
exactly.
and then they need to go do that work before they're rewarded. I
Yeah,
think that's like it's very like playground rules, and we don't apply those to everybody, and it drives me crazy. I'm like, we have a very simple template we set out as children. We were told what to do, and then we become adults, and we're like, oh, it's complicated now. I'm like, but
Yeah.
is it so complicated?
Everything goes out the window.
It's not that complicated. We make it complicated, but yeah, for
we
sure.
do make it complicated.
Yeah.
What's not complicated, ladies and
It's Mary
gentlemen,
Shelley.
is following Jessica on the social internet, subscribing on the social internets. I'm 80 years old. Follow
Social
Jessica
internet.
on the internet.
I thought that was the new place we were all going.
Yeah.
Now we're going to the social internet.
over on the Blue Sky social internet. No, but yeah, follow Jessica. She's a great talented creator, just to follow and see what she's doing. And yes, Mary Shelley, I've said it again, or I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it tomorrow, and the next, I'll keep saying it till this campaign's over. It's a great comic book, and it's a beautifully composed and made comic book. There's so much love and passion in it, and it rings out in the narrative, and it's fun. If you've got kids, you can read it with your kids. You can make like a special thing. If you just like great beautiful colored art and spooky fun things, it'll be fun for you. It's a fun, spooky, good time. If you ever read a Goosebump books when you were a kid and loved it, it's going to make you feel young again, and it's going to be worth your time to check out. So I really encourage everybody to head over to Kickstarter, give this a back. You got that 24-hour doorbuster sale to check out. It's taking it down tomorrow, so get there, get a couple cool items, and save a couple bucks. I can't recommend it enough. I can't recommend Jessica's writing enough. So talented, so awesome. Pleasure to have you on my show. And do you have anything else you want to announce, or I'm going to play the music and finally shut up?
No, I don't think so. Thanks for listening, you guys. And yeah, definitely check out Mary Shelley's School for Monsters. I'd love to have you along for the journey. Thanks,
Yeah.
Blake. It was
You
fun.
are welcome. And if anybody at SDCC find I'm
Yes,
sure
please come
closer to
find
the
me.
con,
Yes,
she'll
yeah.
announce what booth and stuff she's at, and go see her and go see Mary Shelley in its glory and in the physical realm,
Surrounded by its people.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate you hanging out for this chat. Love more, hate less, read comics. We live by it, we die by it. That's why we keep saying it. I appreciate you all, and I will be back tomorrow night with Marvel Daredevil writer Saladin Ahmed. I'm nervous, but I think it's going to be a good show.
That's
Everybody,
amazing.
I really appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
It's Blake's Buzz Live.